So Florida's ban on abortions after 6 weeks just went into effect. The far-right Florida legislature passed it last year, but it was challenged for, going against freedom and human rights. But the DeSantis-appointed Supreme Court just permitted it to go into effect. We're now at a place where 1 out of 3 American women of childbearing years lives in a state with an abortion ban. And I know how helpless and powerless and outraged that can make you feel, because that is exactly how I feel. But we're not helpless or powerless. There are so many groups on the ground and around the country fighting back, and I'm here today to tell you about one specific group because I just found out about them and I'm so impressed. Here's what happened. I was at my doctor the other day, my specialist who deals with my lungs and has kept me alive for years, and she knows I'm really into politics. And she was like, I'm using Oath now for a lot of my donations and I'm loving it. And I was like, what's Oath? And she thought I would know, but I didn't. And she told me it's a way to donate to political campaigns because it helps get her money to the places that need it, but it doesn't bombard her with endless text messages and emails. So I was intrigued and I went home and I looked it up. And lo and behold, she was right. Oath is a political advising platform that was created after the 2020 election cycle because they found that political text messages were completely out of control. And that even with our best intention giving, it often ended up being pretty random. And we ended up donating money to places that didn't need it or could have been used better elsewhere. Oath didn't want people generous enough to give, throwing away their money on long shot races that really couldn't be won because of, say, how stupidly the maps were drawn, when someone else could win somewhere else, or a down ballot candidate who had the potential to run a truly competitive race was starved for cash. It just felt ineffective, and it felt like we were frequently missing the big picture. So Oath started analyzing races, federal races, state races, local races, to find out which candidate could benefit most from our help, and then made recommendations on where to put your money based on the issues you care about. Their algorithm has been so successful that in 2022, their very first election after launching, 76% of their chosen candidates won their race. And more than 70% of the funding that was directed through their platform went to races that were decided by less than 5%. Oath was created to make it easy for us to see exactly where our money would make the biggest difference, but not to overwhelm our inboxes or texts while doing it. It is totally free to use. They don't take a cut of the donations, and Oath never sells or shares your information. So giving one time doesn't end up with 100 more people asking you to give again. I gotta say, I agree with my doctor. Oath feels like a real win-win. You get to help races you might not otherwise know about, but you get way less of that sky is falling clickbait in the meantime. There will always be races you know you want to give to. But then what? Oath helps you get your donations to the right place at the right time. We're up against a lot this year. Strategic giving is going to be essential, but not checking out of politics is going to be the key. Oath helps with both. And don't just believe me, go and check it out for yourself. I've attached the link and I've put it in my bio. Look at the women in the South these days, absolutely out of luck for their own reproductive care. We simply can't carry on like this. The good guys cannot afford to lose, and we're going to need every single one of us working harder and smarter in order to win. Oath is making sure what we're doing to stop this insanity really counts. I'm so glad they're out here doing this work. Check the link.